There's a quiet dignity in discipline. It's the art of becoming trustworthy to yourself. When you keep promises you make to yourself, your confidence grows not through external approval, but through internal certainty. You begin to realize that every small act of self-control, waking early, training when tired, focusing when distracted, is a declaration of who you are becoming. The disciplined individual does not need to shout. His life speaks. The display fades when the spotlight shifts, but discipline builds a foundation that no spotlight can replace. In the end, discipline is a form of love, love for your potential, love for your future, love for the truth of who you could be. Display is about image, discipline is about identity. The world remembers those who were disciplined long after it forgets those who were loud. So work when no one sees, improve when no one claps, and keep going when no one believes. Because the day will come when your results will speak louder than any words ever could. And in that moment you'll understand that discipline was never a burden. It was freedom disguised as effort. Every act of effort, no matter how small, no matter how unseen, contributes to the slow alchemy of transformation. Human potential is not unlocked through one grand moment of success, but through thousands of small, deliberate choices that accumulate into something extraordinary. Each hour you devote to your craft, each time you resist distraction, each time you confront weakness instead of running from it, you are converting chaos into order, potential into strength. Effort is the currency of transformation. It is how we purchase power from the universe. Nothing worthwhile comes without cost, and the cost is always effort. But those who are willing to pay that price gain something far more valuable than comfort. They gain the strength to change their world. In the beginning, effort feels heavy and unrewarded. You struggle, you fail, and you question whether it's even worth it. But that struggle is not punishment, it's preparation. The effort you invest today may not yield immediate results, but it is planting invisible seeds. Power does not arrive suddenly. It grows quietly beneath the surface, strengthening unseen. Just as a blacksmith tempers steel through repeated exposure to fire and hammer, life tempers the human spirit through persistence and repetition. Every time you push through resistance, you are reforging yourself into something harder to break. The pain of effort becomes the forge of power. Transformation through effort also reshapes identity. The more you engage with meaningful struggle, the more your sense of self evolves. You stop identifying as the person who merely wants to change and become the one who can. Confidence is not an emotion, it's the byproduct of earned competence. The effort you put in rewires your mind to see challenge differently. Where others see exhaustion, you begin to see growth. Where others quit, you begin to accelerate, and slowly you realize that power isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself, your impulses, your fears, your limits. But this transformation requires patience and faith. Most people abandon the process because they can't see results soon enough. They mistake the silence of progress for the absence of progress. Yet, power is always growing in silence. The transformation of effort into strength is like the rising of the sun, invisible until it suddenly fills everything with light. Those who trust the process, who endure the grind without constant reassurance, eventually experience something remarkable. They no longer chase power, they embody it. They carry a quiet authority, a grounded confidence that comes only from having earned every inch of progress through sweat and persistence. In the end, effort is not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming someone capable of sustaining greatness. Power that isn't earned collapses under pressure, but power that's built through effort becomes unshakable. So, every time you struggle, remember this: you are not wasting energy, you are converting it. Every failure strengthens your foundation. Every sacrifice fuels your evolution. The transformation of effort into power is the process of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. Not through luck, not through display, but through relentless dedication to becoming who you were meant to be. In an age where everyone is talking, true strength lies in restraint. Words are cheap, they cost nothing, and are often used to replace the hard labor of action. But results, real results, cannot be faked. They require time, endurance, and sacrifice. When you let your results speak, you're not seeking validation, you're demonstrating mastery. You stop explaining yourself because your work has already done the talking. The world is full of promises, declarations, and empty ambitions. Few choose the harder path, the path of silence, discipline, and proof. But it's on that path that transformation takes place. You don't tell the world who you are. You show it through the undeniable evidence of what you've built. Those who rely on words often do so to mask insecurity. They announce what they'll achieve because they need reassurance that they're capable of achieving it. But talking about your dream can trick your brain into believing it's already real, and that illusion drains your drive. When you keep your goals quiet, your mind stays hungry. You protect your energy from premature celebration and channel it entirely into execution. Let others speak of intentions. You speak through outcomes, because when you let your results speak, even your silence becomes powerful. It commands respect not through volume, but through undeniable proof. Results carry a truth that words can't distort. You can argue with someone's opinions, but you cannot argue with what they've built, achieved, or become. Results are the final authority, the reality that silences all speculation. And when your actions bear fruit, when your persistence manifests into something tangible, you won't need to defend your journey. Those who once doubted you will be left speechless, not because you silenced them, but because your success did. That's the quiet victory of those who choose effort over ego. They let time, not talk, tell their story. But letting results speak doesn't mean arrogance, it means humility in motion. It's about dedicating yourself so deeply to your mission that recognition becomes irrelevant. You no longer chase attention because you're too busy becoming someone worthy of it. You understand that real success isn't about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. And in that process, you become grounded. Your confidence no longer comes from being seen, but from knowing you've done the work. You no longer need to convince anyone your consistency, your growth, and your transformation become the loudest testimony. In the end, results are your legacy. Words vanish, but what you build endures. When you let your results speak, your story is written not in noise, but in impact. The world may forget what you said, but it will never forget what you did. So work quietly, build patiently, endure faithfully, and when the time comes, stand tall in your silence because the truth of your effort will echo louder than any speech ever could. The greatest voices in history are often those who spoke the least, yet changed the most. Become one of them. Let your life be the loudest sound in the room. A true vision doesn't need an audience to begin. It doesn't seek applause, likes, or validation. It seeks truth. Every great transformation in human history started in solitude. The dreamer sat quietly with his thoughts, wrestling with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty until something clear emerged from within. Vision, in its purest form, is born not in noise but in silence, in the stillness where the mind stops reacting to the world and starts listening to the deeper call of the soul. When you strip away the distractions, the comparisons, and the external expectations, what remains is the raw essence of purpose, and from that essence, vision is formed. But noise is seductive. It offers the illusion of progress, the idea that talking about your dream is the same as building it. Yet every word spoken prematurely drains energy from what could have been creation. The more you announce what you intend to do, the less urgency you feel to actually do it. Vision fades not because it was weak, but because it was shared too soon. Protecting your dream from the noise of the world is an act of maturity. It's understanding that silence is not absence, it's incubation. Vision thrives in the soil of patience. To hold a dream without broadcasting it requires strength, the strength to trust that your future self will emerge through consistent effort, not instant recognition. When you keep your vision private, you give it time to grow strong roots, unshaken by opinions or judgment. People often mistake visibility for value, but what truly has value is what endures, and endurance is born from depth, not display. The quiet builder will always outlast the loud talker because his foundation is made of purpose, not performance. Moreover, a silent vision allows for evolution. When no one is watching, you're free to fail, to experiment, to refine. You can question yourself honestly without fear of criticism. You can change direction when necessary without losing credibility. That's the beauty of working in the dark. It gives you space to become authentic before the world defines you. When your dream finally meets the light, it carries with it the integrity of something that has survived countless trials unseen. It becomes unshakable because it was never built for attention, it was built for truth. In the end, vision without noise is not about isolation, it's about purity. It's about protecting what's sacred until it's ready to serve the world. The loud dreamer often burns out before reaching the destination, while the quiet visionary endures, creating something timeless. So if you have a dream, keep it close, guard it fiercely. Let the world doubt, let it misunderstand, let it sleep, and while it sleeps, you build. Because when you finally reveal your vision, it won't need explanation, it will speak for itself. Silence is often mistaken for weakness, but in truth, it is the highest expression of inner power. Anyone can speak, but few can remain still long enough to understand the weight of their own words. Silence requires restraint, the ability to endure the discomfort of not reacting, of not proving, of not defending. It's a discipline of the mind that separates the grounded from the impulsive. The strong are silent because they've realized that noise changes nothing, only action does. And when you train yourself to stay calm amidst chaos, you begin to see things that the loud never notice. Silence becomes a form of perception, the heightened awareness of reality, unclouded by emotional turbulence. In silence you meet yourself. It's in the absence of distraction that your true motives, fears, and desires reveal themselves. Most people avoid silence because it confronts them with the truth that their lives are often ruled by noise, by opinions, by the endless need for validation. But those who embrace it learn something profound. Silence is not empty, it's full of answers. It's a mirror that reflects not who you pretend to be, but who you really are. And once you've faced that truth, you gain a kind of power that cannot be taken away, the power of self-command. Silence also sharpens discipline. When you don't announce your goals, when you don't constantly explain yourself, you free your energy to act. You stop wasting strength convincing others, and instead, you invest it in building yourself. Every hour spent working quietly compounds in value because it's fueled by focus, not ego. The world is full of people who talk about success, but few who practice the silence required to earn it. The quiet worker, however, understands that silence is not passivity, it's preparation. It's the gathering of strength before the inevitable rise. Moreover, silence protects you from external chaos. When you don't speak unnecessarily, you give others less power to interpret or distort your intentions. You remain unpredictable, untouchable. The silent one is always underestimated, and that's an advantage. Power hides well behind calmness. Think of the ocean vast still on the surface, yet carrying immeasurable depth beneath. True strength works the same way. It doesn't need to announce its presence, because its presence alone is undeniable. In the end, silence is not the absence of expression, it's the mastery of it. It's choosing when to speak and when not to. It's knowing that your time and energy are too precious to waste on empty noise. Those who learn to dwell in silence, to create in solitude, to listen more than they speak, they evolve beyond the crowd. Because when they finally decide to make a sound, the world listens. Their words carry weight because they were forged in quiet strength. Silence, therefore, is not weakness. It is the invisible armor of the wise, the unseen force behind every act of greatness. Discipline is the bridge between potential and reality. It is the quiet force that turns dreams into something tangible. In a time when many chase attention instead of excellence, discipline has become rare, almost unfashionable. Yet it remains the single most reliable path to mastery. Display feeds the ego. Discipline feeds the soul. While one seeks validation, the other seeks transformation. Discipline doesn't care who is watching. It operates in solitude, in repetition, in the unglamorous hours when no one is applauding. It's what keeps you moving when motivation fades, when excitement dies, and when progress feels invisible. Display is temporary, discipline endures. Most people want results without the process. They crave the image of success, but resist the sacrifice it demands. They want to be seen as great before they have done anything great. But discipline is not concerned with appearances, it's about alignment. It's about structuring your life so that every small act points toward a higher purpose. The disciplined person understands that greatness is not built in a day, but through thousands of disciplined days stacked quietly on top of one another. And when others are sleeping, scrolling, or boasting, the disciplined one is working, unseen, uncelebrated, but unstoppable. Discipline over display means valuing consistency over recognition. It's easy to post your effort online. It's much harder to repeat that effort when no one's looking. The real work happens behind the curtain, where failure is frequent, doubt is loud, and progress is slow. The disciplined mind doesn't chase dopamine, it chases truth. It seeks to become competent, not popular. Every repetition, every sacrifice, every disciplined decision strengthens your character. And that character, not attention, is what sustains success when it finally arrives.